Hey there guys, welcome back to Anthony Reviews. We're Anthony Reviews, and we've got another DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys review for you of the newest Blackest Night wave, the Atrocitus Build-A-Wave, if you will. And I'm very excited. Obviously, I'm a Lantern guy. Blackest Night is a big event back in the day. It's like over a decade old at this point, which is crazy to think about. But we've got some new Black Lantern figures, some other lanterns in the mix. Really excited. So let's just get into the review. If you were reading DC Comics around the late 2000s, I'm sure you were aware of the huge Green Lantern event known as Blackest Night. Brought to you by the like of Jeff Johns, Ivan Reyes, Peter J. Tomasi, Patrick Gleason, and of course many more. This company-wide event brought together superhero action, galactic-scale storytelling, and of course DC's own unique take on the zombie trope. While the effects of that book were felt at the time, we see now that that story still holds some sort of cultural significance with the appearance of these new DC Multiverse figures from McFarlane Toys. This wave comes with 4 figures, 3 of which are the undead Black Lanterns that the book itself is named after. You get Batman, Superman, and the brought back from the dead Firestorm known as Deathstorm. You also get one hero, that being the Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner. There is also a Build-A-Figure, but we'll get to him later. The Black Lanterns are previously dead heroes, and villains in some cases, brought back with the power of a Black Power Ring. A pretty clever way to do a unique zombie story set in the DC universe. The black and silver details on these figures looks awesome, and manages to fold in the Lantern look with the already iconic details of each of these characters on their own. Batman is probably the most famous purely because he's Batman. The added blue for the cape, cowl, and other pieces really does make him stand apart from the others. Deathstorm here, of course, looks cool just without even knowing what he's from. Characters like Ghost Rider have proven for years you can be popular with a flaming skull. I think this figure pulls that off pretty well. I think Superman might be the weakest for me. He fits in fine with the others, but I don't think he has much going on. This particular version of Superman is the Superman from Earth 2, who is slightly older than your regular version. I really don't get that vibe from this. Especially with the missing gray on the temples, I think that really would have helped. A weird detail about him is that he doesn't come with a ring either. All the others do, he's the only one missing one. My assumption would be that this hand came from another figure, so they just forgot to sculpt one on. A bit of a bummer if I'm being honest. All things considered though, these figures look really nice together and are a good way to add some Black Lantern goodness to your collection. Probably the most exciting addition from this wave would be the 90s Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner, of course. Although not supporting his most iconic design, this is what he was wearing during the Blackest Night event. His hair may be debatable, but at least it still looks like Kyle's hair. The design of this figure is an interesting one. When compared to the previous Green Lantern figures, this one feels drastically different. Ignoring the different shade of green itself, we've gone from an overly detailed McFarlane style to a fairly simple body with some textures, but still nothing compared to the previous ones. An interesting choice, to say the least. Still, the figure is quite nice, and the expression feels very light and helpful, which in my opinion fits the Kyle bill exactly. In terms of articulation, there hasn't been any major problems that I've run into so far. I feel like I say this anytime I review a McFarlane figure, but the articulation has always been a very strong point when it comes to these. Of course, minus the thigh swivels. Still no thigh swivels. Accessories are very light. Like always, these figures come with collectible cards, this time featuring artwork of the character you're buying. Although in this instance, we do have art of a character that isn't from the story this figure is based on, but whatever, I guess. Superman and Batman don't come with anything else other than a base. Luckily though, we do get something with Kyle and Deathstorm. Both of them come with lanterns, even though Kyle comes with a translucent one. Okay, I guess. And Deathstorm comes with a lantern, which is great since he was the character most consistently seen with it in the comics. Kyle also comes with this sword, and that's just fine, I suppose. At least it's something. But let's get to the main event. Atrocitus is the Red Lantern. As one of the last surviving members of Sector 666, a bit on the nose, I know, This guy swore revenge against the Guardians, and eventually his rage earned him the powerful red ring. I'm not going to mince words, I think he looks awesome. He's big, he's red, he's angry. This is my first time getting I don't know what you call these. Build-A-Figure is technically a term that Hasbro owns for Marvel Legends. I don't know what McFarlane is technically calling these. I mean, I'm not going to call it a collect and connect, that would just be silly. Either way, you know the gimmick. You buy all 4 figures, you get one additional one. And that's one big beefy addition, if you ask me. Other than a few details here and there, this is pretty much what you would imagine when thinking of Atrocitus. The only thing I wish they added was this sort of belt around the hips. And that's all. Otherwise, he's astonishing, if you ask me. With this wave hitting stores and a Necron figure coming soon, I would be totally down for more Blackest Night figures in the future. There are countless characters to make, as well as many other lanterns to go alongside Kyle and Atrocitus. So there you guys go. Those were my thoughts on the newest DC Multiverse Blackest Night wave from McFarlane Toys. I mean, there's a lot of positivity coming from this. Not a whole lot of negative stuff to go into. You might kind of think that I'm just sort of fanboying over it, but in all honesty, I think they're really good figures. I think these are some of the best figures to come out of McFarlane in terms of adapting the source material. Are they one-to-one? I mean, they never really are from McFarlane. They kind of have their own little spin on it, but I mean, in terms of Blackest Night, sort of Black Lantern figures, and an Atrocitus figure, and even Kyle, like, I think they're really good representations to have in your collection. So let me guys know what you guys think of the figures down below. Make sure to check out some of my other content. I do other toy reviews. I've reviewed some of the other McFarlane figures, including some other Green Lantern stuff. So, you know, check it out if you'd like. Like, subscribe, you know, it is what it is. I dyed my hair, I'm sure you noticed, or you didn't. This is your first video, it doesn't really matter. I'm at Anthony Lantern on Instagram and Twitter for more toy-related stuff. That's about it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.